Chapter 821. Don't worry, nothing like that will happen, Kishir assured with a smile, comforting the distressed Gakane. With me here, would a member of my cavalry really be arrested for such a minor incident? In truth, Gakane's judgment wasn't entirely off. The issue was that their opponent was not a brainwashed impostor, but a brainwashed real crown prince. Who would have believed him to be the crown prince in that situation? It was a good decision to quickly separate him from the dangerous scene, as he was a non-awakener, unable to properly perceive his surroundings due to brainwashing. It was nothing more than acting according to the cavalry's training. Well, that's true, but even if I were there, I might have acted the same, or perhaps even more harshly subdued him. So, it was a very moderate judgment. If anything, you deserve praise. In fact, such a statement was somewhat unusual for the usually composed Kishir. Their cavalry commander was never known for rough actions in any situation. He was always efficient, preferring an elegant style of combat that effortlessly brought down opponents with minimal effort, and he certainly had the skill to spare. However, Kishir was smiling so brilliantly that it clouded the minds of those who saw it, preventing Gakane from thinking too deeply about it. Having heard that from the commander, I feel a bit relieved. Rather than a bit, you should be completely at ease. Even if the crown prince wakes up and tries to find out who did this, he won't be able to find the culprit. You have done well enough that I don't regret not arriving sooner. Let's talk more about this once today's ordeal is over. Kishir lightly patted Gakane's shoulder, followed by Yudhar, who, breaking his usual silence since the incident of hitting the crown prince, touched and then removed his hand from the other shoulder. You have done well. Kishir was a superior who was already known for kindly addressing his members. However, this was usually in the form of gentle advice, delicately discerning and informing about improvements in skills or mindset, not such lavish praise. Yudhar was the complete opposite of such a leader. In the cavalry, there was a joke that the only beings never to receive criticism from his keen eyes were the cat Napoleon and Commander Kishir. Gakane, who had received more personal training from him than anyone, knew very well how coldly rational he was in his acknowledgments and judgments. That both of these men simultaneously acknowledged and praised Gakane Bulanwad was enough to make him feel like he could forget all his troubles. The faces of the southern nobles, who had been unpleasantly commenting on his appearance just moments ago, his body in disarray from running and rolling around in the slushy snow, and the anxiety he felt while trying to alert the inside of the chapel to the emergency situation, all of it seemed to melt away from his mind. Indeed, I love the cavalry. I'm really glad I chose to be in the cavalry and not a knight. Even if it was because he unknowingly hit the back of the crown prince's head hard, what of it? If commander and Yudhar think it's fine, then there is no problem. Even if there is, now it doesn't seem to matter anymore. Gakane Bulanwad had long since adopted the mindset of a fine member of the cavalry. So, right now, are Kurga and Sons still dealing with those guys over there? Lost in his emotions, Gakane quickly regained his focus at Yudhar's question and nodded rapidly. To be precise, Nahan and the sage were both engaged in a fierce battle, unleashing their powers against each other. During this conflict, they were both endlessly hostile towards us. We were trying to contain the damage caused by their abilities, preventing it from spreading to the non-awakeners. This was our plan until you and the commander's arrival. According to Gakane, the sage, though alone, had managed to brainwash a few of Nahan's comrades to switch sides. Additionally, the sage used some noble non-awakeners that he initially intended to contact as shields in his resistance. It was truly remarkable how, in such a short time, he had demonstrated such formidable brainwashing abilities. They seem to think that each other is in a cooperative relationship with us, but there is no need to correct their misunderstanding, Gakane noted. However, even for skilled cavalry members like Gakane and Kurga, directly confronting Nahan and the sage was perilous. Gakane, having already had a bitter experience when they crossed paths in the capital, knew this all too well. Therefore, Gakane made a much more calculated decision this time. He resolved not to overestimate his own strength. Prioritizing the safety of his comrades and those around him, he calmed anyone overly agitated. They also moved cunningly to prevent the enemy from detecting their actions. So, we prioritized holding out and maintaining communication until the evacuation was complete and you and the commander arrived. As long as we can keep both sides from escaping until then, everything should work out, he explained. This was indeed an excellent judgment, aside from the fact that he had struck the crown prince and forced him to be evacuated. Despite his successes, Gakane felt embarrassed that he had failed to prevent a window from shattering due to an ability launched by one of Nahan's followers while he was signaling the chapel. But compared to the sage, Nahan seemed to be in a worse state than in the capital, Gakane observed. Do you mean his injuries looked more severe? Idil asked. There's that too, and, well, how should I put it? Gakane, with a troubled expression, carefully chose his next words. I thought that as soon as Nahan appeared, he would immediately use his powers on the sage and the other awakeners. But instead, he just watched as his comrades pressured the sage. It was as if he knew that was a more effective way to corner the sage. ... Honestly, he looked so bad. It wouldn't be surprising if he dropped dead. Maybe it's vengeance that's keeping him going. Gakane frowned and shrugged slightly. The mere thought seemed to send shivers down his spine. Then, as if suddenly remembering something, he added, speaking of which, there was something strange among Nahan's group. Strange person? Not as much as the sage, but an older-looking person. I feel like I have seen him somewhere. He was an awakener who seemed to have difficulty moving, but he was right by Nahan's side. Or perhaps he was being held captive? Gakane, overwhelmed, couldn't recall further details. An older-looking awakener who seemed familiar, and the sage who appeared alone. Yudhir, feeling an odd sense of déjà vu, remained silent. Could it be? Just then, another loud explosion came from the direction of the battle, snapping Yudhir's drifting mind back into sharp focus. Yudhir, realizing that this was not the time to continue the conversation, immediately turned his head. His gaze met with Kishir's, whose red eyes seemed to have been waiting for this moment. He knew that as long as Kishir was there was no need to worry about what lay behind. It had always been so. In the relaxed eyes of his counterpart, Yudhir could see a level of trust matching his own. He had felt it before when facing monsters raining down from the sky, a strange, reassuring, and unfamiliar feeling. Commander, please give your order. Where shall we start? Kishir said with a cool yet affectionate smile. Nahan and the sage, both coincidentally are troublesome mental type awakeners. But I have some regrets about the one who slipped through my fingers last time. This meant that Kishir wanted to confront Nahan. Knowing how formidable Nahan's abilities were, Yudhir felt a twinge of concern, but he quickly shook it off. Understood. I will capture the sage first. That was quick. While receiving Akane's report, a blue aura began to rise along the blade of Kishir's sword, which had been momentarily dim. Simultaneously, a golden light flickered in one of Uther's eyes, eagerly anticipating the upcoming battle, baring his teeth in a ferocious grin. Ooh, I'm sure this would look amazing when we get this in the manhwa. The two of them, without regard for who led, rushed toward the site of the battle. Gakane followed, leading a shadow procession guarding the surroundings. At the same time, at the rear entrance of the chaotic temple, first Princess Myra, busily directing the soldiers, spotted someone struggling to enter amidst the fleeing crowd. The person seemed to be injured, limping. It was odd that instead of escaping the temple, he was trying to get back in. Myra immediately grabbed and turned the person around. Hey, did you hear that you're not supposed to go in? The skinny man flinched and turned around in surprise. It was then that Myra realized he was a foreigner from the southern lands. Are you a worker at the temple or a servant of someone inside? I am. Oh, that's Hosanna!